Most people don't have an information problem. They have an awareness problem. Hello, my name is Yolanda DaSilva, and I'm a spiritual mindset coach, licensed independent clinical social worker, and breast cancer survivor. Here on YouTube, I help you identify what's keeping you stuck, break free from limiting beliefs, and develop the awareness needed so that you can create lasting change and remember who God created you to be. If you're seeing this, I believe you are divinely guided here. Today, let's talk about the 10 hidden signs you may be living out of alignment. Number 1, you're reactive, meaning you act without thinking, you don't think before you speak, you are impulsive and struggle to listen to what's happening in your environment before proceeding appropriately. Number 2, you avoid difficult conversations. So although you might have an issue with someone, you do everything within your power to not have the conversation with them. And that might mean you go talk to other people about the issue, but you never actually address the person that you have the issue with. Or if you're having a problem at work and you need support or guidance, you don't actually ask for help because you're afraid of what it looks like or what it'll look like to ask for help. Number 3, you struggle to make decisions. You might find that you don't trust yourself, so you will delay and go on and on before really making decision. Honestly, I struggle. I can be quite indecisive with things. Certain things, bigger things, I think I can be quite decisive. But since childhood, I remember always struggling with making decisions. So that's something I'm still working on. But for the most part, with bigger decisions, I'm much better at doing that. Now, picking a restaurant to eat at, that's harder. But that's not really a marker of living an authentic life. Number 4, you procrastinate on things that matter. So you know that you have this big job or this big project that you have to work on for work, and you wait till the last minute. Another form of procrastination is just delaying having a conversation with somebody, right? Something that's really important that should be addressed. You procrastinate on talking to them, which kind of goes back to the previous one where you engage in avoidant behavior. Number 5, you have difficulty setting boundaries. So that might look like saying yes when you really want to say no. So you're not doing something that you want to do, you're doing something that someone else wants you to do, even though it means going against your innate desire. Number 6, you put other people's needs first. So you prioritize others. This looks like people pleasing. This looks like saying yes when you really want to say no. This looks like, feeling, well, I don't want to be selfish, or the belief that I don't want to be selfish, or others will think that I'm selfish. So your needs will go on the back burner, you will prioritize others, and then that can cultivate a lot of resentment. Number 7, you seek validation when making decisions. So what that looks like is you know you want something, but you don't pull the trigger and just act based on what your desires are. You seek out other people's approval before committing to that decision. So that might look like, making a decision to, go to school out of state. And you'll ask everyone what their opinion is before you make your own decision, even though you might have that desire to go out of state. So it might be a form of self-sabotage. Number 8, you have an overwhelming sense that something is missing from your life, and you can't quite put your finger on what that is. You know you desire more, but you don't know what that more is. You feel a void, a sense of trying to fill an area of your life and you're not quite sure what it is. So you might take extra courses, more professional development. You might go on vacation, start a new relationship, or change your hairstyle. But ultimately, you always come back to this sense of this overwhelming feeling of something is missing in my life. Number 9, you engage in negative self-talk, gossip, or complaining, all of which is negative energy, low vibrational, all have no purpose but to bring you down. You know, you have to remember the law of attraction. Whatever you put out will always come back to you. So if you're speaking negatively to yourself, negative things will happen. If you're speaking negatively about other people, laughing at other people's expenses or making fun of other people, that energy is going to come back to you. So if you notice that in your life, like things aren't going your way, take inventory. Are you always complaining about things? And some people, we're operating on autopilot, so we don't realize that we're complaining all of the time, and we are. So are you complaining about waiting in line, waiting at the stoplight, or complaining that someone is late, or your meal isn't on time, or you had to wait an extra 3 minutes to get your morning coffee? Be mindful of those things. And 10, you ignore your intuition. We all have a soul that is attempting to guide us throughout this life, and more often than not, we ignore. We ignore what our soul's desire is, what our intuition is, for the sake of all of the other things that I mentioned today, right? People pleasing, to avoid conflict, to not stir the pot. So be mindful of those things. So here you have a list of the 10 hidden things that you might be doing that's causing you to live out of alignment. There you have it, 10 signs that you may be out of alignment. Becoming aligned begins with awareness. It means remembering to put the oxygen mask on yourself before putting it on others. Remembering that your voice matters. Remembering that you only get one life to live. Remembering that you are important and worthy, not because of what you do, but simply because you exist. Becoming aligned begins with awareness, and awareness is the gateway to living the life God created you to live. That's why I was inspired to create my workbook, Becoming Aligned. If you're ready to deepen your awareness and begin creating lasting change, you'll find the link below. Bye.